If you would like to overcome stage fright caused by fear of embarrassment, here's a tip I would have liked to learn sooner, which is don't talk about something you haven't done. Don't teach something you haven't done. Welcome to Speakers Are Leaders podcast with Harry Sardinas and Lily Patrascu. Discover how to become a charismatic speaker and leader so you can attract ideal clients and business collaborations.
I think that the biggest problem that we have in the conference out there with the speakers is that sometimes you're going to find speakers teaching, for example, how to make a million, how to sell 1 million. And this is the challenge that we have in the audience. If you never sold 1 million in your business, and you're talking about how to sell the first million, how to arrive to the first million, that would be a problem, because the way that you speak, the things that you are teaching, even if you read it in the book, even if you're learning so well, it's going to be, number one, unauthentic. It's not going to be authentic. Number two, it's going to be lack of integrity because you're teaching something they haven't done. But third is what it will come, because one day someone that actually sold 1 million, it will sit in your audience, and that person will know by the way you speak, by the way you move, by the things you say. This person can literally say, this guy that is speaking on a stage never seen 1 million in his life, right? So teach, and when you go to the stage, you don't have to. Yeah, the other day somebody came and they have fear of writing a book. Yeah, and the book was about investment, and he had fear of the book of who is he to write a book about investing in the stock market. And I told him, look, you're not writing the book for Warren Buffett, you're writing the book for people like me that I know very little. Do you understand what I mean? So the same thing with speaking on stage. There are a lot of topics that you know a lot, right? There are a lot of topics that you know a lot, that you have experience. Cover those topics. If you always cover those topics that you know very well, you will never have the fear of being embarrassed. Because yes, you can be very confident about a particular topic, but again, if you haven't done it, you can say it, you can do it, you can go away with it. However, one day someone will be sitting at the audience that actually done it, and that person will raise their hand and will ask you a question that you will be embarrassed because you won't be able to answer because you haven't made it. Make sense?
The other thing is that you have to look at what may cause you to be embarrassed. So you need to be dressed for the specific audience, okay? You need to wear clothes that make you feel confident. And typically for a man, it tends to be a really nice suit. And ideally you have ironed that suit and you have your shirt, ironed and looking clean, and you've combed your hair, so all the basics have been covered. And you look at all the different ways that you could potentially get embarrassed, and you fix all of them. Okay.
And if somebody give you as a present a pair of shoes, be careful with this, because once I was presenting in the BAFTAs in London, and my father-in-law gave me as a present an Italian pair of shoes. Yeah, and they were so nice. I actually, the shoes that I use for presentation for the galas, they are expensive shoes. Yeah, and they have very good quality. However, my father-in-law gave me these Italian shoes as a present, and I decided, well, for a change, let's wear these Chinese shoes for the presentation of the BAFTA. Oh my God. I've been called to the stage, and the shoe, the sole was completely out. And I'm thinking, oh my God, don't call me to the stage. And I hear, now Harry Sardinas is coming to the stage. And oh my God, and I'm going down within this sign name in the BAFTA, and my shoe is totally open wide. Yeah. And I'm going on the knee. I'm getting down the stairs, and then I'm going up the stairs until I went to the stage, and I'm like sliding my feet, yeah, And then I did a talk, yeah, and I was thinking to myself, well, thanks God that nobody's realized that my shoe was broken. And after we finished, that I say goodbye to the people. A friend of mine come and said, "Harry, your speech was amazing. I'm sorry about your shoe." So the point of the story is you have to be very careful with the clothes that you wear when you go to the stage, because the audience will look at everything, right?
The other thing that was quite actually funny is that Harry went to Dubai to speak at an event, and I was there as well. And he had this tailor-made suit made of velvet. Now, velvet tends to be a little bit of a soft fabric sometimes. And we noticed that after the event finished, we took a cab. And then as he was getting off the cab, his entire like trousers like split in the crotch area. So if had this happened at the event, he would have definitely been embarrassed. Okay. And luckily to come out of the car and go with his trousers completely torn in the middle. And had this happened on stage, it would have been incredibly embarrassing. Like, I can't even imagine how we would recover from that, especially in
we will recover. We have recovered always.
professional, especially in Dubai, which is a very conservative country. I mean, city. And what I find quite interesting is that you need to prepare and look at all the different areas where something could potentially go wrong and make you feel embarrassed, and get rid of all of those. So one thing is definitely
don't take risks with the clothes. Yeah, try to make sure that the clothes that you're gonna wear, that you're confident that it's not gonna break, that everything is suitable for it, and try to avoid accidents and get a spare. Since this happened, Lily, since we have this incident in Dubai that happened, every time that I'm gonna speak, I'm taking 2 trousers just in case.
So the other thing is, for example, for women, what has happened to me before is that because I walk a lot in high heels, and sometimes it's long distances. What I've had happen is maybe like my heel got stuck in the pavement, and then the actual heel came off altogether. So I was luckily in front of my building, and I was able to just change into something else. But as you're going out, you don't typically have an alternative pair of shoes. So just something to keep in mind is to bring sturdy shoes to an event, because
wear them only at the event. When you go into the event, take another shoes with you, especially if you're And Lily sometimes is using trainers to go to the event, and then at the event change for the professional shoes.
Yeah, I actually don't really use trainers as such. What I use is something that looks like flat office shoes, but they have this trainer consistency sort of thing. So I'm able to get away with looking relatively professional. And when I get there, I actually change into heels, and that way I don't suffer too much on the way. So I feel that preparing yourself for moments of brilliance is so important by looking great. And sometimes it could be something really small. It could even be like, for example, when you put your lipstick on, and that's something I don't do, but if you can put like a napkin to kind of make sure that there is no lipstick on your teeth. Okay, because let's say you're about to present in front of 1,000 people, and sometimes they have these big conference rooms that magnify your face so that people at the back can see it. So if you were to like put your lipstick on and then you have teeth, your teeth filled with lipstick, that's not necessarily a good look. That could lead to some embarrassment. Okay. Mm-hmm. The other thing is preparing for the actual presentation is so important, so that you practice at home, and then you rehearse, and then you have at least a general idea. Now, let's say if you don't have the time to prepare, at least have the outline. As a backup is to have maybe like some little notes that you could have with you. Now, I don't like to do this. I don't like to have notes with me, because what I find is that when you have notes, you're stressing so much about what you have on your little notepad.
That you want to make it perfect about the notes, right?
Yeah. So what happens is that when you have actually notes, what you'll find is that you are going to stress so much and disconnect from the audience, and people will not be seeing the bright, the brilliant, the beautiful version of you, especially if you're not used to doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to use notes, because let's say you have to introduce someone and you have to say something about them.
Or somebody, an important guest arrive, and you have to
so you have
to make an impromptu, right?
So sometimes you have to introduce someone. So you have to say a few words about them, and it's unlikely you'll be able to remember everything about them. So you do have to read. So in those specific cases, I do think that you can have some notes, but it's important not to have a big kind of paper, because especially if the paper is not kind of stapled all together, what could happen is, you could drop all of your notes and then create a massive chaos on the stage. And at the same time, if they start like flying around, that could lead to some embarrassment, or at least a mini chaos. So it's important
to sum up
with elements that will help you prevent fear of embarrassment.
So to sum up, just to give you an idea, the last Speakers and Leaders Business Award that we did, we took over 5,000 photos, yeah? And those events get recorded in multiple cameras. So that's why, if you want to avoid the fear of being embarrassed, number one, make sure that your clothes is spotless, and also make sure that you rehearse what you want to say, because when you are at the event, right? If something goes wrong with your clothes, something goes wrong with your message that you convey, all these, it will appear, if you have lipstick in your teeth, it will appear in the 5,000 photos. or if you say something that you shouldn't, it's going to be in the recording, and it's going to be there forever. So to sum up, prepare, and check how you're going to dress and what you're going to say, so you avoid the fear of being embarrassed.
Follow us for more charismatic speaker and leader tips.